field work in Alaska and the Yukon Siberia is amazing. We go up there, we work with the gold miners who are busy washing away the silt from on top of these old gravels, and the bones are frozen in place in the silt and dirt. This is often 20-30 meters deep, and so we hang around running in and out and grabbing these bones as they pop out and wash off downstream. So amazing place, brown bears, water, dynamite, it's all go, great stuff, science and real action.
Yeah.
Well, it took us 6 bison to find one that would work, and then trying to publish it was extremely difficult because journals are still struggling with epigenetics. The medical people do it, but evolutionists aren't really that interested. And trying to convince anyone that an ancient version of epigenetics was important was quite difficult. So it took us almost a year to get the story published. You know, often that's a problem when you're working in ancient DNA, you're working between traditional fields. And a lot of journals kind of look at it and say, well, that's not us, that's someone else. And you get bounced all over the place. One of the most difficult things about measuring methylated bases, a base with a methyl group on the side of it, is the standard technique is to destroy everything else and measure what's left. Now, that's exactly what happens. You throw in a chemical that destroys all other bases, it modifies them, but doesn't touch the Cs with this methyl group on the side of them. Now, with modern DNA, that's easy enough. With ancient DNA, you've hardly got anything to start with. Once you start destroying it with a chemical, there's basically almost nothing left. So we could only do this in one particular specimen that had a large amount of DNA surviving. The big opportunity is that next generation sequencing completely changes that way of measuring Cs. We can now do it in real time without destroying anything else. I think really what we show is that this form of genetic change can be measured. It's now up to us to take forward the method and look at whole populations and measure them as they go through things like the last glacial maximum, when it gets very cold and very harsh. How do the animals adapt? We've now got a way to measure it. We need to go out and get the funding, that's the next step, to start using this on large numbers of bison across time and space. And so that's funding applications for the ARC, next step in the long line of science.